Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Dee Dee and Mystical D Intuitions. This is a timeless reading, although today is October 25th, and I consider anyone who comes to this channel guided, and there will be a message here for you. So I'm going to do something new today. I'm going to pull one card for each of the signs. Please, if you haven't done so already, like and subscribe. And I've made these little cards because I'm not quite sure how the whole timestamp thing works, so hopefully you can see that. So I'm going to start off by thanking all of the guardians, angels, and interdimensional spirits and beings for overseeing this reading. I'm going to ask Archangel Michael to please be with me during these messages and protect me with your shield and surround myself and anyone who comes across my channel with the brightest white light of love and healing. So please take only what resonates. And if the message does not resonate for you, look for another sign placement. Spirit, what does Pisces need to know right now? What messages does the collective sign of Pisces need to know? What does So we have the Strength in the reverse. Clarified by the High Priestess in the reverse. What cards of wisdom does Pisces need to know? What words of wisdom? Ooh, 2 came out for that one. 2 came out for that one. So this is mystery and grudge. So I will do 2 for that one because they both came out. So let's begin with interpreting the Strength in reverse. So both of those are major arcanas, which would signify that it is something that's going to be taking place over the next few months. So in the upright, a figure sits upon a garden wall surrounded by carefully sculpted topiaries as they gently pet a large snow leopard who rests transfixed upon their lap. This is a place to tame what is wild, a place of calmness in the presence of claws and teeth. Here is the courage to face threats, calm and collected, strong and soft. Here is the courage to face threats, calm and collected, strong and soft, with inner and outer strength. Compassion with a light and tender hand. But it was in the reverse. So that would signify weakness, a lack of inner fortitude, and a struggle with self-control. All as a result of ignoring your intuition and being disconnected from your inner wisdom. That was clarified by the High Priestess in reverse. So this could also signify loss of passion. So in the upright, let's see the High Priestess. It's always been a card of intuition. So in this deck, it says silence, initiation, intuition, femininity, mystery. The High Priestess invites us to focus on our inner world. Well, in the reverse, it's everything that I said, the opposite of that. So it signifies blocked intuition, secrets and deception, ignoring our inner voice, and also misinterpretation. Situations where you're not looking beyond the surface, or where you're letting your emotions or external influences cloud your judgment. So together, the High Priestess shows why the strength is in reverse. So your inner strength is compromised because you're not listening to yourself. This combination is pointing to a situation where your inner strength is blocked by secrets, emotional confusion, or a fear of your own shadow self. So the message is, in overcoming this, it would require acknowledging the hidden truths, silencing your self-doubt, and trusting your gut feelings to regain a sense of control and inner resilience. Your inner strength is compromised because you're not listening to yourself. So, the path forward involves taking a step back to re-examine your life and goals, quieting the mental noise and trusting the signs, and connecting with your authentic self to find the courage to be strong again. That's a good reading. Followed by Cosmic Cat Words of Wisdom, which was Mystery, Embrace the Unknown, and Grudge, Bury, Don't Carry. So I'm going to read what both of those mean. So Pisces is in for a little treat because this is pretty lengthy, these. Let's see, Mystery. So this card is calling to embrace the unknown. If you pounced on this card, you are being invited to let go of the need for certainty in order to pad into the unknown. It's natural to be afraid of the dark when we can't see what's coming or know what the future holds. Unlike real cats, humans can't see in the dark and may imagine threat and danger. We may twitch at the idea that something is out to get us. Catastrophe is around the corner before we've even taken a first step. We may be feeling out of control, especially when we imagined we had the situation in paw. We may even have been punished in the past for not knowing, and so reflexively strive to be on top of the situation, attempting to limit the risk of failure or success. Your safest perch now is to not know and to trust that benevolent life forces larger than your struggling self will support you when you do leap. Not having ready answers, solutions, resolutions, and fixes to a problem or situation that has been holding you captive for some time is not your fault. Holding back for fear of what may or may not happen is not advised now. Ready yourself to get off the fence and prepare to make a move in the direction of your truest calling without knowing in advance how things will turn out or what the results may be. This is a time to step into the mystery that is pregnant with new possibilities that may be tracking you as much as you are tracking them, and you can let go and let them, knowing you will be held, you will be okay, and you will become stronger with each step you take on your own unique and winding path. Solutions and resolutions you've never dreamed of will emerge when you identify feel, then move through the fear to embrace the mystery we call life. Other thoughts to stalk. Identify the problem or situation for which you have no clear answer or solution. Name your fear or other feelings that stalk you when thinking about this problem or situation. Sit quietly and let these feelings well up, then ask them, what are they trying to tell you? Carefully listen and watch for any answers in whatever form they may appear. And the other words of wisdom was grudge. If you pounced on this card, it means that you are carrying resentment about someone or something that no longer serves you in your highest good. You may have been hurt physically or emotionally and feel justified in holding that someone or something responsible, as they or it may in fact be. There was an event or act that got your fur up, or you were handled in a way that was less than tender and loving. As a result, you've harbored a belief that you were done wrong, and no matter what, you will never be appeased. Your back remains arched, fur standing straight up, and you feel compelled to keep protecting yourself, even though the threat has passed, the deed long ago done, the cat fight over. Carrying the heavy emotional baggage of a grudge amplifies further whatever hurt may have been inflicted. You may be ready to let some or all of that go as it continues to drag you down. When you hold a grudge about what happened, it can be your own story about what happened, played over and over again in your mind, that keeps the grudge in place. True or not, your belief in that story as the only version of what happened is what keeps you yowling or screeching inside. Could it be that what you've perceived as being backhanded was actually an attempt to give you a hand, meant to help you in some way you could not understand at the time? If you could get more of the backstory or other points of view, perhaps you could be released from the stored feelings of anger and hurt that sap your energy today. Drawing this card suggests it's finally time to drop the grudge, bury the hatchet, and make more room to enjoy all of life's most precious and fleeting moments. Other thoughts to stalk. Before the work of Byron Katie, an inquiry process that frees one from persistent painful thoughts. Explore the work of Byron Katie. Okay, that must be a book. Consider asking a person you hold responsible for your grudge what they thought happened or what it was like for them. Write or tell the story of what happened to you from the standpoint of the other person. Very interesting. And with that, I am going to roll some die. So we have a 6 and 1. So either the number 6 or the number 1 or 16 or 61 is of significance to you. And with that, I thank you, Pisces. And we will be moving on to the next sign of Aries. I will do, what is happening there? A couple of shuffles. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. And I thank you for coming to my channel. If I didn't say so already, welcome. If you're looking for legal, medical, financial advice, I am not that professional. So here we had the 8 of Pentacles pop out in reverse, and I am going to clarify it. I will do a few shuffles on this for Aries. It was clarified by the moon. And I will do a quick shuffle on this one. And what are the wisdom cat or cosmic cat words of wisdom for Aries? Just one card, please. There's one message that Aries needs to know. And that's too many. So I am going to just do a quick shuffle and a grab. Wildcat. You never know what's lurking. Okay. So let's look at what these are. We have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Clarified by the moon. Excuse me. So in the upright, an artisan works with fine tools, perfecting one of a series of delicate ornamental stars. A time for developing craftsmanship, mastery of skills, being hands-on and doing what needs to be done, honing a craft, dedication, hard work and determination, proficiency and attention to detail. So everything that I just said, because the Eight of Pentacles was in the reverse, it suggests unfocused work due to emotional confusion. It suggests a lack of direction, neglected intuition. So this was clarified by the moon. This could also be a poor reputation or dead-end job because of those things, because of a lack of quality or motivation in your work. So the moon is a major arcana again. The minor cards suggest something that takes place over days and weeks, and the major arcana suggest something that's more drawn out over the longer term. So, in the upright, fears, unsettling visions, fatigue, lunar cycles. The moon causes old fears to resurface. So both of these together suggest a period of frustrated, unfocused work due to emotional confusion. a lack of clear direction, or neglected intuition. So you may be experiencing a lack of motivation or burnout, a feeling of working hard without making progress, or your instincts are telling you something's unclear, that you need to learn new skills. It could also suggest self-sabotaging behaviors. So while there's poor quality or laziness, it could even suggest a dead-end job. The moon suggests that you should just pay attention to your intuition, and that there may be a time of confusion where you have to rely on your inner feelings about what's taking place rather than the clear facts. Both of these together suggest clouded judgment. You may be making poor work decisions because your intuition is being blocked by external pressure and a need for clarity to confront what you've been avoiding or denying, or the need to improve your work. Okay, and the words of wisdom was the wildcat. So the meaning of that card is you never know what's lurking. If you pounced on this card, it means someone or something is on the prowl and searching for you to spot them or it. Still under your radar, that something may be lurking in the shadows, as yet camouflaged by your life's busyness and distractions. It may be completely unpredictable and ready to appear at any moment, given the right circumstances and opportunities. Though you may have the best laid plans or be scratching your way through a litter box of scenarios, you may not have taken full account of all factors, events, and conditions involved in your ultimate happiness, joy, and fulfillment. How could you? It's really not ours to know all the universe has in store for us. When we think we should be in control, truly an impossible prospect, we face misery, fatigue, disappointment, and disillusionment with what is. When we dwell on the worst of what can happen, we can close ourselves off from the new, more interesting and exciting possibilities. It's our job to learn to be patient, observant, and as ready as we can be for what may come. That can be as simple as feeding your curiosity by taking a closer look at your choices and decisions before you leap forward, by examining the patterns of your past thinking and behavior that led you down an unpleasant or unproductive path. You can allow something new in your life to emerge. Then you'll be poised for something better. Or, if you think you're already on track, be wild. Go ahead and let yourself fall, knowing you'll land on all fours, come what may. It's an exciting time for you, filled with the unknown, which, after all, is the adventure we call life. Other thoughts to stock. Are you totally invested in one outcome, or are you open to the unexpected? What fears do you need to meet and greet to better prepare yourself for whatever results or outcomes occur? What tools work for you to relax stress and return to an open, expanded state? And with that, my friends, I am going to oh, what happened to my other? Oh no. Okay, I seem to be missing one of my die, so I will be right back. And here you have 4 and 3. So either 3, 4, 7, 43, or 34 has some significance to you. Anyhow, thank you so much. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. And we are on to Taurus. So please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if you like this type of one card with a clarifier message. Just something new that I'm trying just to test it out. I'm going to do a little spiritual cleansing over here. I guess during this downtime, as I wait for this to light up, I could tell you a little bit about myself. I have been listening to tarot my entire life. Well, mostly since I'm 18. And I am older now, but it's all relative, much like time. And I have my moon in Pisces. I did hear that we have placements in every sign, or we have all the signs in different placements of our houses, so it's all very relative. So if you listen throughout, you might get a message that resonates with you. And if it doesn't, please don't make it fit. But if you know, you know. So since I'm a kid, I have been highly intuitive. And I like to say all the clairs, clairaudient, clairvoyant, clairsentient, and about 5 years ago, was that during the pandemic or at the start of it? It was right at the very beginning. I had my very first spiritual awakening, and I say first because I believe that there are levels to this. So anyhow, spirits, what does Taurus need to know? One card of message. Oh, are we going to take it? 2 cards just fell out. What do we have? 4 of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, we'll just go ahead and keep that. And I will clarify it. Let me go ahead and just give this a couple of shuffles here. Spirits, what does the sign of Taurus need to know? What messages do we have for Taurus? Let's clarify. The Knight of Pentacles in reverse and the 4 of Swords in reverse with 1 card. Clarify. Two of Swords in reverse. Okay, so the Knight of Pentacles. So swords typically signify truths, but these are in the reverse. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. So in the upright, a figure sits astride a large white wolf, armed with a star-emblazoned shield, in control and prepared for what is to come. A person who is hardworking and introspective, guarded and stubborn, analytical of themselves and others and the world around them. A realist with pessimistic tendencies. Okay. And pentacles typically represent earth signs. So that being in the reverse, could indicate a lack of action. This could also signify feeling stuck, a lack of initiative, being able to break free from a routine, or feeling stuck in a comfort zone with an inability to move forward. It could also be broken promises from a person or a situation where something hasn't been followed through, or there's a sense of instability which is present. And that, these two cards came out together, so I really just wanted to do one, but Four of Swords, let's just go ahead with that. So in the upright, the Four of Swords would indicate a fighter takes a moment to rest their head, blade close at hand, a place to recuperate after long battles, to ready oneself for what's to come, avoiding unnecessary struggle, a time for a reprieve, a retreat, stillness, contemplation, meditation, preparing for the long game. So because it was in the reverse, and it was also clarifying the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, this suggests restlessness, inaction, overthinking. The ability to take a break or a step back for contemplation is difficult, which could lead to stagnation and potentially cause a loss of focus. Restless energy. And those were clarified by the Two of Swords in the reverse. In the upright, it would be impasse, blurred vision, hesitation between two paths. Open your eyes and imagine another possible way. What do you feel is holding you back? So in the reverse, it's an avoidance, a deliberate avoidance of a necessary decision or confrontation. It could also signify emotional barriers. So remember when I was saying the swords represent truths? So this could signify an inability to move forward, unable to make a choice, or lacking the courage to move forward. An unwillingness to confront an emotional barrier, which is making it difficult to gain a perspective. So altogether, these cards paint a picture of a frustrating stalemate, experiencing a sense of being stuck and unable to move forward due to your own inaction and failure to take the necessary decisions or getting the necessary rest that you need to make those decisions. So these cards are signifying that it's time to find the courage to break free from the stagnant routine, confront your emotional barriers, and finally make that choice that's been delayed. And I guess I didn't do this in the beginning, but I will do this now. What are the words of wisdom that Taurus needs to know in order to get on the highest possible timeline for this situation? What are the words of wisdom that Taurus needs to know in order to get on the highest possible timeline with this situation? One card set. One card set. What is the message that Taurus needs to know in order to put them on the highest timeline for their greater good? One card. Okay. These cards are just so huge. Okay, grudge. Bury, don't carry. If you pounced on this card, it means that you're carrying resentment about someone or something that no longer serves you and your highest good. You may have been hurt physically or emotionally and feel justified in holding that someone or something responsible, as they, or it may be, and there was an event or act that got your fur up, or you were handled in a way that was less than tender and loving. As a result, you've harbored a belief that you were done wrong, and no matter what, you will never be appeased. Your back remains arched for standing straight up, and you feel compelled to keep protecting yourself, even though the threat has passed. The deed long done and the cat fight over. Carrying the heavy emotional baggage of a grudge amplifies further whatever hurt may have been inflicted. You may be ready to let some or all of that go as it continues to drag you down. When you hold a grudge about what happened, it can be your own story about what happened, played over and over again in your mind, that keeps the grudge in place. True or not, your belief in that story is the only version of what happened is what keeps you yowling or screeching inside. Could it be that what you perceived as being backhanded was actually an attempt to give you a hand, meant to help you in some way you could not understand at the time? If you could get more of the backstory or other points of view, perhaps you could be released from the stored feelings of anger and hurt that sapped your energy today. Drawing this card suggests it's finally time to drop the grudge, bury the hatchet, and make more room to enjoy all of life's most precious and fleeting moments. Other thoughts to stock. Explore the work of Byron Katie, an inquiry process that frees one from persistent, painful thoughts. Consider asking a person you hold responsible for your grudge what they thought happened or what it was like for them. Write or tell the story of what happened to you from the standpoint of the other person. And with that, Taurus, I'm going to end with toss of the die. So I have 6 and a 5. So it could either be an 11, it could either be 65 or 56 or 5 or 6. So if any of those numbers resonate with you or have meaning, there you have it. So with that, we are going to move on to the next sign of Gemini. So this time I'm going to try to pull all the cards before we begin. And if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe so that you can find me later, whatever I happen to post. And I appreciate it. And thank you so much for being here. So I have my Mars in Gemini. There are times when I listen to this placement and things resonate with me more than even my sun sign or moon sign. So what does the sign of Gemini need to know? What messages? And if I haven't done so already, I'd like to thank all of the guardians, angels, interdimensional spirits, and beings for overseeing this reading. Please surround anyone who has come across my channel, the bright white love, love and healing, and protect me with the shield of Archangel Michael. So, Spirit, give me one card. The Geminis. Okay, so we have the Two of Pentacles. Came it on the side, but I'm just going to say that is that. Okay, let's clarify this with. Let's clarify for the sign of Gemini, collective, general reading. The Two of Pentacles. Spirit, what does the Two of Pentacles need to be clarified with? What message do we need to clarify the Two of Pentacles? Okay, so that would be the Four of Swords, and it was in the reverse. And let us have message, a word of wisdom from the Cosmic Cat for the sign of Gemini. What words of wisdom does Gemini need to hear for their highest timeline discussions? Oh, that is way too much. That is way too much. I'm just going to put them all back. Doesn't help that these cards are absolutely huge, but it is what it is. So, okay, there we go. Just put these two back. Self-care. Always good to know. So, self-care, time to cleanse. I will put that here. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for helping my channel grow, and it will all come back to you tenfold, as those things always do. That's how it works. What you put out comes back to you. So the Two of Pentacles in the upright. A skilled poodle stands steadily on a ball while balancing another upon its nose. Precarious and practiced, they keep themselves aloft. A situation requiring dexterity and flexibility, agility and adaptation. A time for balancing both work and play, multitasking, remembering to have fun. A growing confidence in talents, which was clarified by the Four of Swords in reverse. So in the upright, this would signify rest, illness, healing. Take time to step back and reflect on things. Where in your life should you slow down and take time to weigh pros and cons? So because it was in the reverse, and this Four of Swords was clarifying the Two of Pentacles, this card suggests managing multiple responsibilities, whether it's financial, work-related, or personal. And this card signifies the end of a period of rest or inaction. So coming out of a state of physical or mental recovery, being encouraged to start on a new project, to move forward with a new plan. So together, this signifies overcoming a period of imbalance and rest by taking action and putting it into motion. So where this card represents juggling resources and adapting, this card in the reverse indicates that you're emerging from a period of stagnation or mental overload, and now it's time to act. So that's pretty good reading. Oh, hello. I love it when the messages are very clear and straightforward and comes together nicely. So here we have self-care. Time to cleanse. If you pounced on this card, it's time to pay attention to you, giving yourself the proper care and feeding you would provide for any animal companion you love. Now you're that animal, and you're being given permission to shed burdens and worries, or what does not serve you anymore. If you're hearing the alley cat voices within you or outside you screech, that's selfish. You can't do that. There isn't time. What will others do or say? It's time to put that chorus to rest. A myth about self-care is that it is selfish and that we are here only to serve others. The truth is that you can only serve others in the world when you take care of yourself. When you take care of everyone and everything else, eventually there is no you left. This might manifest in exhaustion, burnout, bitterness, resentment, broken relationships, physical or mental health issues, addictions, depressions, and even suicide. Self-care is about meeting your needs for physical and emotional health and well-being, and it runs deeper than staying fluffy. It's a mindset in which you regard yourself as worthy of healing, not just licking old wounds and hurts that have kept you in a cage. It's an ongoing personal process of self-discovery in which you stock greater knowledge about your deepest needs and desires, then pounce on new opportunities to meet them. Relationships, circumstances, roles, and experiences present themselves uniquely as yours to clean up and clear when things get hairy. When you realize that your thoughts and self-talk are powerful in creating your experience of the world, you'll be more empowered to soothe your fur and fill yourself up again, regardless of what's going on around you. You can create a warm layer of self-love in which this kind of care and cleaning can be done with regularity, ease, and satisfaction, leading to greater balance and peace within you. Other thoughts to stock. On a scale of 0 to 10, how would you rate your attention to self-care? What responsibilities can you shed or new habits adopt to increase joy, health, and fulfillment? And with that, my dear Geminis, if you have not liked and subscribed, I really appreciate it if you do so now. And I am going to give you 2 numbers. I have a 3, I have a 2. So those numbers might resonate, or the number 5 might resonate, or the number 23, or the numbers 32. And with that, thank you so much. We are now on to the sign of Cancer. I am going to do a little spiritual cleansing of the air. What messages does the sign of Cancer need to hear? What messages does the sign of Cancer need to hear? What messages does the sign of Cancer need to hear, Spirit? Messages does the sign of Cancer need to hear? What messages does the sign of Cancer need to hear? What messages does the sign of Cancer need Okay, so let us begin. Spirit, give me one card for the message that Cancer needs to hear. King of Pentacles. And Spirit, clarify that. King of Pentacles for the sign of Cancer. Clarify this King of Pentacles for the sign of Cancer. Spirit, clarify King of Pentacles. What message does Cancer need to hear? Oop, that's too many. Clarify. King of Pentacles with one card, Spirit. The Two of Wands. What words of wisdom does Cancer need to hear in order to get to their highest timeline in the situation or the message that, oh, that is way too many. Spirit, what words of wisdom does Cancer need to hear? Please give me one card. One card. Words of wisdom. Message for today. I think these are the biggest cards on the planet. Either that or my hands are too small, but honestly, I've never heard that in my life. I will shuffle 3 more times and just pull a card if nothing comes out. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Perfect. And here we have expectation. Expect the best. And I will read that after, clarifying the King of Pentacles, clarified by the Two of Wands, both in the upright. So we have a crowned figure sits perfectly balanced on a star, steady and adept, ambitious yet pragmatic, stoic and methodical, charismatic and savvy in business and matters of coin. A person who is responsible and no nonsense, enterprising, understands how the world works and how to sit comfortably within it. Clarified by the Two of Wands. Ambition, vision, organization. Possess an ambitious vision. What do you truly desire? How are you going to organize yourself? So the combination of these two cards suggests a successful, wealthy individual who's facing a long-term decision or opportunity that requires them to look beyond their current material success. It indicates a need to carefully plan for the future, to ensure that your new ventures are not pursued with an overly greedy or restrictive mindset, and to make sure that your decisions are based on long-term, authentic goals. So these cards together indicate prosperity meets planning, having a mastery over your resources, financial security and stability. Whereas the Two of Wands is about looking to the future and making plans for expansion and new opportunities. Together, these would suggest a period of making strategic decisions about what to do next to successfully achieve more material successes. It could also be a caution, a warning against becoming overly attached to current gains or being blinded by the desire for more. It could also advise against a ruthless or controlling approach to future opportunities, because the Two of Wands is adding a layer of caution to this already successful card. So it's a reminder that true happiness may not come from simply acquiring more wealth. So the overall advice with these two cards, I would say the message is encouraging to use your resources and influence to build a more authentic and fulfilling future. Making a thoughtful decision about the next phase of your life to ensure that it aligns with your long-term goals and your authentic desires, not just for an immediate financial gain. Very nice. And the words of wisdom: expectation, expect the best. If you pounced on this card, it means you may have something on the line you're hoping to pull in and land. This is a time for you to look at the energy you hold around what you want to show up in your life. Is your frame of mind that of a dream catcher or a dream dasher? Some might be of a mind that expectations are a setup, and they certainly can be. If you think the world is playing a cat and mouse game with you and out to get you, what you're likely to notice most are scams and treachery. After all, what you put your attention on grows more present in your life. If you're focusing on the bowl being half empty, it's not likely to be filled. Holding on to expectations that others need to change or make it easier for you to bring in your prize can cut your lines fast. What you need to take responsibility for changing in you. If you're failing to make appointments in order to prevent disappointments, what is your worst fear? Name it. On the other paw, if you're excited or can get excited about possibilities and can picture some of the best case scenarios in living color, just wait and see what happens when you use that mental emotional net. What would it look like to chronically carry around great expectations, imagining the outcome you would like, but with no attachment to how or when it might manifest in your life or what you end up catching? You could perch yourself in an ever-ready posture for more of what you want in your life by maintaining this positive catitude. Then, when something you want to do, be, or have does not manifest in the time you'd prefer, at least you're feeling good and expansive instead of anxious or depressed until it does. It's not uncommon for things to show up much faster than expected as well, and with less effort than you imagined. Just remember, you're not the only one pulling strings in this mysterious universe we all inhabit. Other thoughts to stock. What limiting thoughts have been preying on your mind? Can you replace them with visions of plenty? How do your expectations that others need to change lead you astray in your relationships with them? What do you want to manifest for yourself this day, this week, this month, or year? Write it down. And with that, dear Cancer, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I am going to roll the die. So we have 6 and 5, just like we did with the last reading with Gemini. So perhaps you're dealing with a Gemini, or the number 11 means something, or the number 6, or the number 5, or the number 65, or the number 56. And with that, we are going to move on to the sign of Leo. Guardians, angels, what messages does the collective sign of Leo need to hear in this journal reading? Let's have one card for Leo. One message that Leo needs to hear at this moment. What is one message that Leo needs to hear in this moment? What is one Wow, this is, what is one message that Leo needs to hear in this moment? Okay. Three of Pentacles. I'm going to ask you to clarify the Three of Pentacles with one card that Leo needs to hear this. Spirit, please clarify the Three of Pentacles for the sign of Leo. One card. And that is the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Last but not least, I'm going to ask that you give us a wisdom card to help Leo reach their highest timeline. Words of wisdom does Leo need to hear in order to reach their highest timeline and greatest good? I'm going to do a cleanse and ask that Archangel Michael be with me during this reading and protect me with your shield. And anyone who's come across this channel, surround them and myself with the brightest white light of love and healing, and only allow the goodness to come through in these messages. Spirit, please give me one card for the words of wisdom that Leo needs to hear to reach their highest timeline. Oh. That is a lot. It's too much. I'm going to put it back. That's one card. Just one card. Just one card. Okay, so I don't have something readily coming out, so I will pull a card after 3 shuffles if nothing comes out. One, One card for Leo. Two. Oops. Too many. There's one card for Leo's Spirit. Three. Friendship. Care is there. So we have the Three of Pentacles, clarified by the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Three intricate stars are surrounded by carefully crafted carved knots, ornate angles and intersections that have been studied and planned, manipulating physical forms and designs, being competent and able to accomplish tasks, craftsmanship and skilled labor, a time for cooperation, sharing, and teamwork, focusing on the details. Clarified by the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. In the upright, this card signifies family, heritage, material success. Catch up with your family. What reason or reasons do you family have to be proud of you? What does your family have to offer you, and what do you have to offer it? So this combination together signifies that a collaborative effort or work in progress is being undermined by issues of family conflict, financial instability, or a breakdown in traditional structures. So the Three of Pentacles teamwork is being hindered by the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. And that would signify disputes, instability, or the rejection of an established legacy or foundation, which is taking place. So this is just rendering this entire situation of teamwork and collaboration unstable. So it could be family disagreements that are causing that. It could be financial problems or a rejection of those established traditions or structures that were meant to provide security. Both of these it could also be financial instability, which is affecting a project, or a rejection of a legacy. So both of these are just stating that there's a need for a new approach. The group needs to address the underlying issues of insecurity, conflict, or financial instability to ensure the success of the collaboration. And with that, we will do a reading on friendship. Care is there. And my friends, Leo, if you have not liked and subscribed to find me later, please do so now. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for helping me to grow my channel. If you pounced on this card today, you are in need of a friend or being called to be one. Perhaps you have many or none. Now is the time to take inventory of what friends you do have, what they mean to you, and what friendship means to you and provides for you in your life. True friendship means the presence of people and animals in your life for which you feel a close connection, a source of comfort and joy. It's a relationship in which you can show your heart and soft underbelly, or more specifically, your tender feelings, from gladness and sadness to fear or anger, and trust you won't get your head bit off. Real friends avoid personal blame, judgment, and negative criticism when they see you may be going astray. They give you affirmation, praise, encouragement, and support where you need it, but avoid doing for you what you need to do for yourself. Seeking closeness by catting around or manipulation by holding out will usually sabotage efforts to create friendship. Instead, seek friendships where all land on equal footing and stay the course. And the so-called friends that come with notoriety or popularity often turn out to be the quickest to abandon you when times get tough. Some may feel they have an entire litter box full of those experiences. What now is holding you back from enjoying friendship? What is preventing you from being a friend? Is there history you can mend through humble and heartfelt apology? Is there a new chapter, a place to begin again with an old friend? Or is it simply a time to be grateful for the lessons and gifts you were given in that relationship and move on? What might you do to catalyze a brand new friendship? Other thoughts to stock. Make an inventory of what you would like to experience in your friendships with others and ask yourself if you are providing that in return. Identify a friend you care about and believe you've offended, then make amends. You may discover they were not offended, but you've been carrying that thought as a personal burden for far too long. When seeking new friends, participate in social or cultural activities you enjoy that are interactive. Be on the lookout for who you'd like to know more about. Invite them to lunch or for a walk. Spend more time asking questions and listening than talking about yourself. And with that, my dear Leos, I'm going to roll die, and I have a 5 and a 3. So if either of those numbers mean something to you, could also be an 8, it could also be a 25 or a 53. And with that, we are going to move on to the sign of Virgo. If you have not already liked and subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for doing so. And I appreciate all of the love. Guardians, angels, interdimensional beings who are overseeing this reading. What messages does Virgo need to know right now? What messages do Virgos who have happened upon my channel need to know right now? Please give me one card that the collective sign of Virgo needs to hear at this moment. One card that Virgo needs to hear, please, Spirit. What messages does Virgo need to hear? The Knight of Cups in reverse. I'm going to do 2 shuffles and clarify. Spirit, what does the sign of Virgo need to hear to clarify the Knight of Cups in reverse? Please give me one card to clarify the Knight of Cups. Thank you, Spirit. And that is the Six of Wands in the reverse. Okay, so let's look at the Knight of Cups. So in the upright, you have a figure astride a giant rabbit lifts a glass, reveling in the whimsy and wonder and softness of this journey. They'll probably write a poem about it later. Time for grand gestures and strong feelings. A romantic person who loves love, loyal and sensitive, intense and mysterious. So everything that I said, the opposite of that. You're dealing with disappointment, broken promises, someone who makes grand emotional or creative promises but falls short of the delivery. An initial appeal of a situation or person which may be disappointing in its outcome. It could also indicate emotional instability or a lack of follow-through. And that was clarified by the Six of Wands reversed. So let's take a look at the meaning of this in the upright. Victory, being applauded, being recognized. Measure the paths taken up to here in your current victories. What successes can you be proud of? But it was in the reverse. That signifies lack of recognition, hard work that's unnoticed. It's a failure and a setback, a project or a goal that will likely end in failure with a lack of support that's hindering your progress. Could also be stalled progress. A need to go back to the drawing board. So together, this combination suggests that your creative or emotional endeavors may be met with a lack of support and recognition, which could lead to a sense of failure and disappointment. It could also be a warning that you're possibly relying on unreliable people or circumstances, and that the victory you hope for will not be materializing. It could indicate that you need to be more realistic about your expectations with the romantic or emotional offers, since this Knight of Cups is in the reverse, indicating that it's an empty offer. So both of these it's not necessarily negative, because it's just letting you know that it's a time for introspection, that you should reassess your goals and motivations before moving forward with new adventures. Be completely realistic in order to get what your heart's desires. Don't be met with the whimsy. And take the time to be more grounded to avoid future disappointment. Oh, and I did not get my Cosmic Cut words of wisdom that Spirit What words of wisdom does Virgo need to know in order to reach their highest timeline with this message? What does Virgo need to know in order to reach their highest timeline with this message? Just one card, please. One card, please. What does Virgo need to know to reach the highest timeline with this message? What does Virgo need to know to reach the highest timeline with this message? What does Virgo need to know what's in this improvisation, just make it up. If you pounced on this card, it means you are being invited to take charge of your creativity in a way that best meets your current situation or circumstances. Even when you don't really know what you're doing or how it will turn out, it's time to pull something new out of your bag of tricks, with your imagination being the cat you're letting out of the bag. Improvisation is using what you already have or can find in your own den or backyard to devise a unique solution to a problem, rise to a challenge, or answer the door opportunity is knocking or scratching on. When those conditions occur, you may be hesitating or even finding yourself initially in a state of catalepsy. That's natural. It may be something you've never seen or experienced before, and there may be an element of danger or real risk involved. Proceeding with caution can go paw in paw with doing your best thinking or envisioning before you assemble any pieces or elements into something new without an instruction manual or guide. There most likely is no guide when your creativity is being called to new territory. As so many artists and improvisers will tell you, if you feel fear, do it anyway. You cannot connect to your own inner MacGyver, the television character caught in jams who gets out of them in creative ways, by working with a minimum of materials at hand. You too can learn to solve and create anything you put your attention on when you learn how to let that powerful part of your brain that is on autopilot actively work on your behalf. In fact, it does not need to be difficult, but can be easy and fun when you're in flow. Those cats who've gone out on a limb will be the first to tell you. They often make things up as they go along. With each move you make, reflect on the results, make a new plan as needed, then proceed again and again until you scratch up another one for the power of improvisation. Other thoughts to stock. Have you been presented with a new problem to solve or wrap your tail around? If no one knows the best or right answer, it's time to improvise. What fears come up about heading out on a new trail or getting out of the box? Acknowledge those as you approach the new situation or challenge. And with that, my dear Virgos, if you have not liked and subscribed so far, please do so. And I thank you and have much gratitude for you. I have a 6 and a 1. So if you have those numbers, 1 or 6, or 16 or 61, if those numbers resonate with you, thank you so much for coming to my channel. And with that, we are going to move on to the sign of Libra. Going to do a quick spiritual cleanse. Before I begin the reading. And spirits, what messages does the sign of Libra need to know? messages does the sign need to know? What messages does the sign of Libra need to know? If these readings are not resonating with you, then please look up another aspect of your placement, either your moon or Venus or even Mars. What messages does the sign of Libra need to know? Okay. Give me one card for the sign of Libra. Is it Temperance? Spirit, give me one card to clarify temperance for the sign of Libra. Give me one card. Sign of Libra. Page of Pentacles. Both in the upright. Well, Spirit, what is the words of wisdom that Libra needs to know in order to reach their highest timeline for their greatest good? Just one card, please, Spirit. Reach their greatest and highest timeline. One card. Oh, too many cards. Just one card, please, Spirit. One card, Spirit. If a card doesn't come out, I'm just going to shuffle 3 times and then take a card. So let's do this. 1. Oh, there we go. Wholeness, become all that you are. All right, so let's begin with Temperance. Which is a major arcana. A winged figure gracefully fills a cup without looking at the vessel, a measured, well-practiced action. Their long gown is striped in black and white, the lightness of one contemplating the darkness of the other. This is a place of balance and tranquility, moderation and virtue, alchemy and tea. Here there is a mixing of opposing forces into harmony, a time of compromises, equilibrium, self-control, the finding of happy mediums. Clarified by the Page of Pentacles. The start of an undertaking, questioning, starting off. Begin making this project concrete. What is the first step to accomplish? So when the Temperance is clarified by the Page of Pentacles, it's signifying the need for patience, moderation, diligent planning to manifest new material opportunities in order to bring them into reality. It's taking a balanced approach to a new venture. So if it's a new job or an educational pursuit, to ensure its long-term success by being more diligent with study, learning a new skill. It could also be the start of something new in the material world. Whereas Temperance is balance and moderation, patience, reconciliation. Together, it's a balanced manifestation. So diligently planning and turning that potential into reality. So the Page has an excitement here, whether it's a new idea that's tempered by Temperance. So the path to success involves a deliberate action or self-restraint with a mindful approach to that new beginning. So whether it's a new career or a relationship. So that is the message, and I'm going to read about the Wisdom card of Wholeness. Become all that you are. If you pounced on this card, you are being invited to collect the different aspects, parts, and voices within you and bring them into greater harmony and wholeness. There may be a way you've lost sight of or grown fuzzy about some of your values, needs, and desires. This can lead to a lack of alignment or disconnect between what you say and do, what you say you value or believe, and how you express it in the world. Integrity literally means the integration of beliefs and actions at a higher level. It's a learning curve and process that requires a witness within you that can observe and discern when you are in or out of integrity. A cozier relationship with yourself is necessary to have and live with greater integrity, a big part of healing and being whole. Those with whom we share the animal kingdom seem to inherently know who they are and don't appear to question their value, worth, or actions. They live in a state of instinctual integrity, leaping and bounding, resting and relaxing with what comes their way. In our complicated techno-industrial world, we've lost touch with much of our essential nature and are too often caught up with duties and obligations, what we think we should do and what others think we should do. We may be in a world filled with people, but still be lonely because we've lost ourselves in our soul's voice. This loss can appear as many symptoms, from unhealthy addiction, self-abuse, and abuse of others, to lying, stealing, and cheating across all sectors of society. Losing one's integrity can be catastrophic in its consequences and impact on yourself and others. Relationships of any kind are a perfect playground for learning more about integrity. In the rough and tumble of negotiating and renegotiating ways to meet our needs and wants in partnership, others can become a perfect mirror reflecting back to us how we are seen and perceived. That feedback is invaluable for helping us become who we really want to be when we are in our integrity. Other thoughts to stock. What do you need to stop doing or start doing to get what you say and do into closer alignment? Where are you denying your own deepest needs and desires? And with that, dear Libra, if you have not liked and subscribed to my channel, please do so. Thank you so much. And the numbers that you have are 3 and 5, or a combination of 8, or 53, or 35. So if that resonates with you, that is nice. And we're now going to go on to this sign of, oh, there's my die that I didn't have. We're on to the sign of Scorpio, and it is your birthday month, Scorpio. Although these readings I consider to be timeless whenever you come across, I am filming this on the 25th of October. But time on the other side, spirits, simply doesn't work the way it does in the Matrix. So I consider my readings to be timeless. And whenever you come across this channel, there are messages for you to hear. And we do have every sign placements. So Spirit, oh, is that the card? The 8 of Cups. So be it. Spirit, what messages does the sign of Scorpio need here in order to clarify the 8 of Cups? Please give me one card. Fool in reverse. Okay, very well. And Spirit, give me one clarification that Scorpio can take with them to reach their highest timeline and have the greatest good. Just one card. Spirit, what does Scorpio need to hear? Messages. Does Scorpio need to hear? Just one card, Spirit. The sign of Scorpio. Okay, so if a card doesn't come out, I'm going to do 3 shuffles. Oh, there we go. Discernment. Take a closer look. Perfect. So let's go ahead and look at the 8 of Cups. Clarified by the Fool in reverse. A cloaked figure ascends a long staircase, moving on and leaving things behind, taking a path forward and upward, a time for seeking and finding, embracing change, taking steps towards something new and away from something else, wandering, following your heart into change, transition, a new journey. With the Fool in reverse, it's Major Arcana. So in the upright, novelty, freedom, new departures, madness. The Fool invites us to set off on a new adventure. So being that it was in the reverse, and the fact that the Fool was clarifying the Eight of Cups, this could signify a struggle with change, feeling stuck between leaving and staying, or making impulsive, unprepared leaps. So while there's a desire to move on from a situation, there's a fear of the unknown, or hesitation, reckless action. Or this message could mean taking caution about moving forward, addressing inner conflict or fears before acting impulsively. So together, there's a hesitation in being stuck, because the reversed Fool is a fear of taking a leap, or fear of taking a leap of faith, and there's a lack of direction, which is completely contradicting the feeling of walking away and starting something new. It could also mean unresolved issues. So both of these cards is a call for inner reflection, to sort through the conflicting feelings before making that decision. So instead of rushing forward or clinging to the past, being patient and understanding your true desires and fears, which is nicely followed by the wisdom of discernment. If you pounced on this card, it might indicate an important decision is skittering just around the corner and waiting to be made. This is a good time to stop, be still, and look a little harder, longer, or deeper to ensure the decision aligns with your core values, who you really are and want to become. Things are not always what they initially seem. That's why a closer examination and asking the right questions could be key to your best catch. What underlying motives, stories, beliefs, or assumptions are nested within the decision at hand? Discernment requires observation and the collection of information that leads to a judgment. A reasoned or thoughtful judgment is an opinion, stance, or position you have formulated about someone or something based on your ability to carefully discern. To prejudge is to subvert discernment, allowing unconscious conditioning from your early kitten days to the catechisms of unquestioned training throughout life to guide your decisions. Prejudice can contaminate your decisions when coming from a place of unhealed personal wounding or a lack of information, devoid of critical and strategic thinking. It can lead to snap judgments and striking out at enemies, whether real or perceived. Discernment helps you uncover your authentic needs for nourishment, support, and strokes, and then to act from that place to capture the goods. It gives enough pause to reflect on whether what's before you is merely fulfilling short-term gratification or is the best for all involved. You exercise and build your discernment muscles over time when you look and listen by holding up a lens that looks both outward and inward. Examine both your thoughts and feelings about a situation well enough to be able to rely on your gut and head as reliable sources, giving you confidence and courage to decide and then act. Other thoughts to stock. Identify an important decision you need to make now. What does your head say about the decision? What does your heart say? Which will you listen to? List your primary pet peeves and judgments. Take one and ask yourself who you would be or how you would act if you did not have this judgment at all. Very good. And with that, I'm going to roll the dice to get some numbers. So I have a 1 and a 5, or 15, or 51. And with that, I thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Let me know if you like this type of reading. And happy birthday, Scorpio. We are now going to move on to the sign of Sagittarius. Spirit, what does the collective sign of Sagittarius need to know at this moment in time? What does the collective sign of Sagittarius need to know during this time? Sagittarius. Some wisdom does Sagittarius need to know this time? If you have not liked and subscribed by now, if you've joined my channel, please do so that you can find me later. I'm newer to YouTube, and as I like to say, a long-time listener, first-time caller. If you like the messages and any of them resonate with you, please like and share, subscribe, comment below. Thank you so much. My sun sign is in the sign of Sagittarius, but I found that a lot of time messages in my Venus resonate with me more. Sometimes my Mars sign resonates with me more than my sun sign. Just know that we have most of the signs in all of our various placements. Spirit, what messages does Sag collective need to know this time? Okay, we have the 9 of Swords in reverse. Spirit, could you please clarify the Nine of Swords in reverse for the sign of Sag? What messages does Sag need to know to clarify the Nine of Swords in reverse? What message does Sagittarius need to know in order to clarify the Nine of Swords in reverse? What card does Sagittarius need to see or to clarify? Show me. Just one card, please. Spirit, just one card to clarify the Nine of Swords. So we have the Three of Pentacles in the upright. What words of wisdom does Sagittarius need to hear in order to make the best decision to reach the highest timeline and their greatest good for the outcome, the message that they receive this reading? Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, guardians, angels, and interdimensional beings who are overseeing this reading. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for protecting and surrounding anyone who has come to this channel with light, love. What is the one message of wisdom that will help Sagittarius reach their highest timeline? Just one card, please. Okay, so I'm going to shuffle 3 times, and if I don't get a card, then I am going to just pick one, and that is 1, 2, and 3. Assertive. Take your place at the table. So let's get into the Nine of Swords in reverse. Clarified by the Three of Pentacles. So in the upright, a figure wakes from sleeping, apparitions of swords hanging over their bed, nightmares and hauntings and insomnia, uneasiness and circular thinking, a time of being wound up in worries and doubts, cycles of anxiety, a need to move on from dark thoughts and escape restless nights. So the opposite of everything I just said, because it's been in the reverse. So enough of all that circular thinking and restless nights. You're moving away from all of those past anxieties. And it was clarified by the Three of Pentacles. The upright. So this card signifies collaboration, demonstration, and work. Create a project and work in a team. Who are the individuals with whom or for whom you would like to work? So together, this indicates that healing and recovery are possible, but that you have to collaborate, share your knowledge, put in the effort to build a solid foundation for your future goals. You're moving away from all those worries and finding hope, but you actively need to engage in teamwork and skill development in order to have that solid progress. there is a shift towards healing. This could also indicate having avoidance, suppressing your feelings, or not dealing with the root causes of your distress. So this is clarified by this card, which indicates that you have to be actively engaged in order to help the situation. And together, to truly move forward from a period of mental turmoil, you actually need to participate in a collaborative effort. So recovery is not just an internal journey, it's getting the support from working with others towards that shared goal. So the overall message is that recovery in the situation requires both the inner work and the outer action in order to have success with that. And nicely followed by the words of wisdom to be assertive. Take your place at the table. If you pounced on this card, it means you are ready to activate your ability to receive what you need most in your life now to thrive and expand. That ability depends on you learning how to communicate clearly what it is you are asking for in a way that respects you, others, and all of life. That ability comes from your understanding that your needs and the needs of others are interdependent. You may not have been taught this in your pride. In fact, in the struggle to be seen, heard, and get what you want at a young age, you may have observed that others used aggression, manipulation, or withdrawal as a means to getting their needs met. Often the screeching, yowling, hissing, or dead silence that passes for communication in the world is either passive or aggressive, not assertive. Words are important. Tone of voice is more so. Is your meow loud or soft? How you hold yourself conveys your intent. Is your back up, hair on end? Are your claws out or in? The way you approach any other critter speaks volumes about whether you are angry and threatening or friendly and approachable. What you are now called to do is take your place at the table by first insisting you have one, not by taking anyone else's, but speaking from your heart about what you are needing. Being this direct may feel foreign to you as it takes the place of complaining or hoping someone can read your mind. Perhaps if you're asking for something directly will meet with rejection, and it may. Dealing with rejection creatively is a part of being assertive. The important thing is to persist with expressing who you are, what you value and want for yourself. With persistence, the rewards and treats will be forthcoming. Other thoughts to stock. What is something you want or need that you're afraid to ask for? How can you ask for what you need in a way that respects you and others? Who do you need to make the request of? Practice being more direct in a compassionate way with someone you trust by saying, I need blank. Are you willing to give or provide that? Notice what happens when you're more direct. And with that, my dear Sagittarius, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make a comment. Let me know if you like this type of spread. And I have 2 6s. So if this 6 resonates with you, if 66 resonates with you, or if 12 resonates with you. Or it could also be 1 + 2, which is 3. Anyhow, thank you so much. We are now going to move on to the sign of Capricorn. 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 that Capricorn needs to hear this reading? What are the messages? Oh. Ah. Oh no. Saved. Okay, right before I was about ready to mix them up in the wrong way. Okay, and we are in the home stretch. And the last, but not least, of the last two signs. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and let me know if you like this type of a spread. The one card read with a clarifier and words of wisdom. So I'm testing out what viewers like and how I can most make best use of my decks as I build my channel. Spirit, what one card messages does Capricorn need to hear at this time? One card message, please, Spirit, thank you. Oh, too many cards. Oh, I got the card. Hopefully that's one card. Yes, and it is the Knight of, the King of Swords. Spirit, what is the message that needs to hear in order to clarify the King of Swords? What message? Let's clarify King of Swords for Capricorn with one card. Let's clarify King of Swords. Card to clarify. Hermit in reverse. Spirit, what words of wisdom does Capricorn need in order to reach their highest timeline, the greatest good, the message that they receive from this reading? What is the words of wisdom that Capricorn needs to hear in order to reach their highest timeline? Exposed. Time to come clean. Okay, so let's look at this. King of Swords. Clarified by the Hermit in reverse. So we have A serious crowned figure sits on their throne, a raven perched above, a sharp mind with a sharp sword, a time for high intellect and high standards and high energy, a person who is reasonable and level-headed, a seeker of harmony and diplomacy, a thoughtful, balanced problem solver, which was clarified by the Hermit in reverse. To Major Arcana. In the upright, this means solitude, reflection, wisdom, guide. The Hermit invites you to take time to reflect and contemplate. So in the reverse, it's the opposite of all those things. So together, these two cards, the upright King of Swords, clarified by the Hermit reversed, suggests that a person is using logic and intellect in a way that is oppressive, manipulative, overly rigid, perhaps potentially stifling others' growth, avoiding introspection. So whereas we have the King of Swords, which represents authority and mental mastery, when it's clarified by the reversed Hermit, those positive traits are distorted. And you have harsh, rigid judgment and inability to consider a different perspective. So it suggests a need to come out of the purely intellectual or controlling mindset and find balance with intuition and empathy. This could, the Hermit in reversed with this card, could be a rigid mindset, oppressive authority. So together, these could be warning a person's strong intellectual energy, which is being used in a negative way. So instead of clear leadership, that energy is being used for control, judgment, and is avoiding all those positive, introspective, self-reflection traits. So I think the overall message is to reevaluate the use of logic in the situation and open up to having a different perspective, which would include empathy and a willingness to look inward. You've been exposed. Time to come clean. So, or the situation's been exposed, not necessarily the querent. All right, so it says here, if you pounced on this card, you may have been caught in the act of doing something intentionally or unintentionally that made some kind of mess or created a stir. Or maybe there's something you've done that you're not proud of and you fear being exposed and shamed. Whether as simple as catnapping on the job or something more severe, it's time to take account of what happened and what role you played so you can move back into harmony with the situation or persons affected, including yourself. Whatever act or incident has been exposed, you can begin by recognizing you're not a bad cat, and poop happens. You may not be able to put everything back just the way it was, and that's okay. What's done is done. The important lesson here is to take responsibility without slinking around and hoping no one else will notice. When you come clean by admitting your errors or mistakes, you can seize a new opportunity to be bigger than the situation. You can make amends with others without losing face or whiskers when you recognize your honesty and humiliation, which can go a long way in patching up a tear in a relationship or broken trust. Don't let the cat get your tongue. Own up to what's yours. Drop any protective catitude and that does not serve you, and you'll be on your way to having spilled milk becoming something you can simply lick up rather than letting it lick you. Other thoughts to stock. What is something you'd like to confess to lighten your load? Where have you done some damage you've still not owned up to? Can you forgive yourself first, then get on with making reparations? Who do you need to make amends with now? And with that, my dear Capricorns, I'm going to give you 2 numbers to ponder over, and those would be either 11, 1, snake eyes, anyhow, 2, if that number resonates with you. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing, and we are on to Aquarius. Have we reached all of our signs? Is this the last but not least? Oh my. Aquarius. Oh, Aquarius, Aquarius. Wherefore art thou, Aquarius? Messages does Aquarius need to hear at this moment of time? For anyone who's come across my channel, for the Aquarius Collective, what messages does Aquarius need to hear at this moment to help them reach their highest timeline? What messages does Aquarius need to hear? Messages does Aquarius need to hear? Spirits, guardians, angels, interdimensional beings, for overseeing this reading of Aquarius. Please give me 1 card. What message that Aquarius needs to hear at this moment? Just the 1 card that Aquarius needs to hear. Give me 1 card. 1 card. Hopefully I still have fire with this. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Oh, did I finally run out of... All right. Archangel, please be with me during this reading. Protect me with your shield. We have this Seven of Swords reversed. Whoa, that really quick. I will take it. The Four of Swords in the upright. And what words of wisdom does Aquarius need to hear in order to reach the highest timeline in this situation? What words of wisdom does Aquarius need to hear? What messages does Aquarius need to hear? Just one card. Oh, that's way too many. Oh, again, way too many. What is going on here? Let's just do one more quick shuffle. I am going to do, oh, there we go. Grace. Everyone is connected. Aquarius. So let's go ahead with this reading. So we will do the Seven of Swords. In the upright, the Seven of Swords is a figure cloaked in black tiptoes away from an armful of swords, about to vanish into the night with their spoils, a place of stealth and deception, taking ideas that are of use and leaving the rest. A lone wolf, avoiding responsibilities, something hidden in the shadows. So in the reverse, everything that I said, it's the opposite of that. So the card is indicating a need to stop being deceptive or dishonest. It could be a call to come clean about some past manipulation. Or you're the one who's being deceived. So this card could be indicating a need to take a more direct and honest approach. And it was clarified by the Four of Swords upright. So this is rest, illness, healing. Take time to step back and reflect on things. Where in your life should you slow down and take time to weigh pros and cons? So as it was clarifying the Seven of Swords, this card represents a period of rest, recovery, a need for a break. It's a signal to step away from the conflict or stress and take time for self-care, reflection, rejuvenation. It could indicate that peace and quiet is necessary in order to process the situation before taking action steps. Together, this could indicate that you've been using dishonest or underhanded methods to get ahead or to avoid a problem. And now it's all come to fruition. So this is advising you with the Four of Swords to stop the behavior and use this moment of exposure to step back and rest, to change. So instead of further scheming, take a needed break and plan for an ethical strategy for your future. So it's an opportunity to recover, to find peace, to enter the situation with honesty. with that, I will read your words of advice from the Cosmic Cat Wisdom cards, which is good advice. To have grace. Because everyone is connected. If you pounced on this card, it means you are being asked to become more aware of and honor the presence of someone or something very special in your life. It could be a fleeting moment of connection with another being, or a lifelong relationship you've recognized as having an ennobling effect on you. You may experience grace from the feelings of warmth and expansion, or sense of the miraculous that come with it. You may experience a state in which you go beyond the boundaries of your own skin and mind to a larger field in which the web of life becomes more real and palpable for you. In some way you're being blessed, and there may be few words for it beyond a background purr. It could be that your presence and outstretched hand graces others more so than anything you do for them, if the effect of your presence is to elevate or enhance their sense of well-being. When you become aware of this effect, you can acknowledge and go with it, letting go of notions you must work or try harder to make a difference. These can do more to separate you from others rather than bringing you closer to a soft and fur-covered state of grace. True grace is effortless. Acknowledging others in your life or a larger life force as magnifying your well-being and higher aspirations is a step towards enjoying more grace and ease. You can't control grace, but you can amplify how you experience it when you give it your full attention. You can realize that even what may seem a mere stroke of good luck may be more than just happenstance, but perhaps you were perfectly perched for and anticipating all along. Other thoughts to stock. What does grace mean to you? Have you experienced moments of grace? Who and what was present in that experience? Let someone know how they have graced your life. And with that, my dear Scorpio, pardon, I meant Aquarius. So you may be dealing with a Scorpio because, as they say, nothing happens by chance. So, Aquarius. The numbers that I have for you are 4 and 3, possibly 7, or 43, or 34. And with that, if you have not already liked and subscribed to this channel, I appreciate you for doing so now. Leave a comment, let me know if you like this type of reading or how I'm doing. And I appreciate you so, so, so very much. Thank you for coming to my channel, and don't forget to put on your red dress, dance the night away, or put on your hiking shoes and go for a walk. Thank you so much, and goodbye.